Okay, so I'm trying something new. I have been working on my first ever coloring book, which is going to be up available on Amazon soon. It's called The Enchanted Forest, unless I change it around the title. If I do, I'll announce it. But I'm also trying to figure out how to do more videos and kind of like document my process a little bit. So, yeah, I didn't think of trying to record this until I was way far along on this piece, but this is actually the last piece for the coloring book. This is for the title page. I have to do the cover yet, so it's not really the last page, but it's close to the last page. But anyway, I'm using Krita, which actually is a free drawing program that I really, really like. I really like Krita and Inkscape are my two go-to art programs these days. And this is on my Wacom graphics tablet. This is a Wacom Cintiq 16-inch, which actually they don't make anymore. They make the 22-inch and the 24-inch. I almost got the 22-inch, but I was afraid it was going to be a little bit too big. And this is the digital pen for it, if you've never seen a Wacom. I also have, they have a sidebar thing, I can't remember what they call it, for using hotkeys, but I actually had this gaming keyboard up here, this little half keyboard. Ignore trying to not show the rest of my messy desk. But anyway, I had this gaming keyboard that I use for hotkeys. So if you hear click, click every once in a while, it's from that keyboard. I especially use X a lot to change from black and white. This is a black and white drawing, so it's really easy to switch colors. Yeah, and anyway, I did an original pencil sketch of this, and then I scanned it in, and you can see some of my sketch lines back here, the gray lines. I did a very, very basic sketch, and then I filled in on the tablet because I like doing that better. I don't like sketching everything out in pencil and then just inking over it. To me, it's not as spontaneous that way, if that makes any sense. It feels like I'm just tracing something instead of actually making something. So yeah, if I zoom in here, you can see the lighter lines in the back, which are going to be totally either covered over or removed in the final. I still have problems with hands, so my hands are still kind of wonky. Some of I did do the forest originally I created in AI, and then the girl was a different girl that I added wings to and did all kinds of things to. I do use some AI tools, but I really like drawing myself, especially on the Cintiq. So I'm just going to work on, oops, and I just made that one too fast, too fat. This is a pressure sensitive pen and tablet, so that if I'll just show you real quick. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, if I go lightly, I can do thin lines, and if I go heavy, I do thicker lines. So I can actually do thick and thin lines. And I'm going to undo those because they're not necessarily part of the drawing. But yeah, that's kind of how this tablet works. And I try to keep, since this is a coloring book, I've been trying to keep the lines pretty much normal width. One thing I like to do too is I actually erase or go over in white my pencil lines a lot, just because I get myself too stuck in the idea that I have to follow that original line, if that makes any sense. And I don't, because, I can modify it. It doesn't have to be what I had originally. It can be different. So it's different. But at least the pencil lines give me an idea of the placement and what I had planned for that area. Because sometimes I do sketches like months ago. And matter of fact, this girl is from a sketch I did probably a couple years ago that I found in my sketch pad and then reworked her. So yeah, I change things around all the time. So let me just erase. Or actually, I'm using white, so it's not really erasing. I'm going to remove the background from the final book. So it's just going to be black lines. It's my first time trying to do a coloring book page, and I have to try to remember that it doesn't have to be super, super detailed, and it doesn't have to be exact, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but when I used to color when I was a kid, I used to love to add my own details to scenes, especially things like butterflies and dragonflies and um, I was always a sci-fi geek, so I used to have little aliens peeking out from behind the trees sometimes. I mean, yeah, I'm a total geek. Some of these lines too, I'm going to work on making probably a little bit thicker, maybe. I don't know yet. The drawing always ends up evolving as I work on it, so I can't say never. I rarely have an exact idea in mind. It just kind of takes on a life of its own a lot of times. But anyway, this is my, like I said, this is my first coloring book page that I'm trying to design. I think I have 25. These are just some tree trunks. I think I have 25 drawings in this book. This is a total experiment to see how it does. It's going to be out on Amazon KDP hopefully in a week or two. I'll make an announcement when it's available. But I'm still not totally happy with her arms and hands, and I may end up going back and changing them. I redid those like 10, probably 100 times actually. I'm never happy with hands and feet. They always give me issues. And one of these days maybe I'll get more confident in them, but I haven't actually done finished artwork for a very, very long time. And I'm trying to get myself back into a more, let me redo that, I don't like where that line went. I'm trying to get myself back into a more creative mode. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, I might not put all these tree limbs back in here because I think I kind of like the negative space behind her that you could fill in as you're coloring it. So I might leave some of that out actually. I kind of like it without the tree trunks in there. Thinking. Okay. Like I said, things evolve on me all the time. I absolutely love this drawing tablet. If you've never used a drawing tablet, there are cheaper options to the Wacom. There are also cheaper Wacom models. I don't remember how much I paid for this one originally. Like I said, the 16-inch one is discontinued. And sometimes I wish I'd gotten the 22-inch because I really debated it for a long time. But this area, my desk in my studio, it has this is a tilt board that it's resting on. So, and I closed my camera window so I can't see myself talk. There we go. It is a slant board or a tiltable area on my desk. And it's attached to my computer, of course. But I was afraid the 22-inch would have been too big because I don't think I had the desk yet when I ordered it. I think I was still waiting for it to arrive. I don't remember now. I bought everything. I did the setup about 2 or 3 years ago, which it's hard to believe it's been that long, but there you go. I don't want this tree coming out of her head. I'm going to take this out. Let me zoom in a little bit more to make sure I don't get... This is pixel art, as you can see. So when you zoom in, you can see... I don't know if you can see it in here. Let me zoom in further so you can see it. You see all the pixels? When that's printed, you won't see it because I'm working on an oversized image right now. It's going to be reduced for the final. And you won't see all that. It will look like nice, smooth, black lines once it's done. But anyway, the Wacom tablet, they do have models too which don't have a screen on it, so you're drawing on a blank board and just see what you're drawing on your monitor rather than having a monitor built into the tablet. And those versions are cheaper. I had one of those originally back in the God, it must have been late 80s, early 90s on part of my Amiga computer setup. Back before I had an IBM PC at home. I just messed up that tree. There we go. It was a 12 by 12 inch. I don't even remember. I think it was before they had like the Intuos models and everything, so I don't even remember what model it was. But it was a great first tablet to get used to. Though I find being able to draw on the monitor itself, on the picture itself, is so much easier, so much faster, so much less undoing and redoing. Both are better than a mouse, I'll tell you that right now. And if you've ever tried drawing with a mouse, you know it's painful. It's a pain in the butt to try to draw with a mouse. Let me see. I think I might leave some of those. I think I might leave some of these trees. Not that one's not a tree. Okay. I have to zoom out sometimes to see what I'm doing. But trying to draw with a mouse, especially if you want to draw a curved or straight line, is very, very hard. Back in the day when I was art director for an ad agency, they actually had the first graphic computer setup I worked on, and it was an old IBM. It was let me get my toolbar out of the way. It was like the very first IBM, like a model, I think it was 1101 was the first IBM, and it was monochrome graphics and everything else, and nothing color. The monitor was black and white. I mean, and it was an expensive computer at the time too. I mean, I don't remember how much my boss paid for it at the time, but it was very, very expensive. And we didn't have a tablet. And there for a while I did clip art illustrations. The ad agency I worked for used to specialize in doing marketing and advertising for greenhouses, for nursery growers. So I did clip art for nursery growers for a while, and I used CorelDRAW with a mouse. Oops, that's way too thick. I'm trying not to block my lines as I'm drawing them so you can see what I'm doing, and not being as well on my pressure sensitive. I think I'm just being a little bit too self-conscious talking while I'm doing this. There we go. Sometimes you just have to go for it, you know? But anyway, I did the entire thing using clip art vector illustrations with a mouse. And unfortunately, I don't think I have any of that clip art anymore. I wish I did. So I remember one thing I did was a Christmas tree that drove me bonkers trying to get it exactly right and getting all the decorations in it without making it too big. Because in those days, we actually sent out floppy disks of the clip art. Believe it or not, we did a subscription service. And yeah, so it had to fit on a floppy disk along with other art. And I can't even remember how many pieces I did each month. But it did pretty well there for a while, but I haven't done that kind of thing in forever. And when I left that company, I tried to do freelance marketing and advertising, and I suck at finding clients. I really, really do. That's my hardest part, and pricing and everything else. So I gave up on that idea and did other things. And that's a little bit too thick. And I don't like that line. It took me a long time to set up my own art studio here at home. I bought this house in 2005, and originally this was my roommate's bedroom. And then she moved out, and it sat empty for a long time because I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was originally planning to make it a guest room, though honestly, I almost never have guests. I'm not that person who has people stay with her all the time. I'm just not. I really, really like my privacy, and I really like my solitude. And actually, that roommate recently moved back in with me, but she has problems with the stairs, and this bedroom's on the second floor, so we're creating a bedroom for her instead downstairs. And it may not be a permanent thing. We don't know yet. It's all up in the air. But Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it that way. But anyway, a couple years ago, before she moved back in, I decided to make this my art studio. And I've been slowly working on projects and trying to build up a portfolio again, because most of my items used to be, almost everything I did was either for the other company that they have the art, the originals, and actually they don't exist anymore. The owner sold the company and went in a different direction a long time ago. So I don't even know whatever happened to all the art I did there. I did a boatload of illustrations, like orchid paintings for an orchid catalog in Miami. I did so many plant illustrations, I can't even tell you. So doing these little bit of leaves is like nothing right now, because I did a whole bunch of illustrations for them. And then all the other digital art I did was on my Amiga, which my ex-fiance, I want to say not inherited, but I left with him when I moved out, so I could set up my own thing. And it's taken me this long to actually get things going and figure out what I want to do. I've been experimenting. I've been trying different things. In the interim, I built an e-commerce business, which some of you know, and that's my main livelihood, but I really, really missed doing creative things. So I've recently gotten into doing print on demand and t-shirt designs and mug designs, and this is my first coloring book design. And I really just want to, I've been making jewelry, and I really just want to branch out and try to do more things. I mean, I'm sure not all of it's going to be successful. I probably won't. Whoops, I had the wrong color. Let's go back to, seriously? Oh, I'm hitting Control X. I'm all right. I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Anyway, I really want to get back into doing more creative things, more art-oriented things. I have a 3D printer now. I have a Silhouette Cameo, which I haven't really utilized as much as I want to yet. I want to work on those. I'm getting back into doing 3D animation, which my ex and I used to do. And matter of fact, we used to teach at Full Sail, which is a big visual art school here in Central Florida. Why am I not getting that line the way I want it? There we go. But yeah, I used to teach 3D animation for a while. I did all that kind of things, but that was years and years ago, and I'm really just getting back into it. I'm really glad Lightwave 3D is actually back. They were bought by another company, the company that originally did it, and they weren't going to redevelop it, and somebody else bought the software and is doing new versions, so I can't wait to get it and try that out. And like I said, I just really, really want to get my creative juices flowing. I've been feeling stagnant. My sketch pads have been blank pages for so long that I'm trying to get back into the swing, if you know. I still love my e-commerce stores, don't get me wrong. I love writing product descriptions and finding products for people that they may not know existed, and bring something. The joy is in the hunt kind of with me, I guess. I love finding different products. And I think that in the last few years I haven't been doing that as much because my stores are established and they've been successful. So I haven't pushed as much as I could in creative areas. So I'm starting to get back into it. I'm designing some t-shirts and other clothing items that's going to be available on my e-commerce stores. And that looks horrible. Let's get rid of that. But I'm I'm also on Amazon Merch program, which I'm still working with, trying to figure out the best designs that sell. Come on. I don't like this line. Let's redo this line. Let's take this out and I'll redo that. But yeah, I'm trying all different kinds of things, kind of seeing what sticks, kind of see what works the best for me. More so, like I said, for the creative or the creativity of it all, instead of just, you know, the e-commerce stores are money. And I do, like I said, I do love doing them. I love working with companies and developing new products and coming up with new products and that kind of thing. I'm just finding, I really love working with small shops and small creators. And I have a number of those that I work with, as well as some big boys. But yeah, just the creative aspects have been lacking for me for a few years. And I'm really, really working on making this, making myself, kind of forcing myself to be creative again, to do art again. I've been playing around with AI a little bit, playing with creating some clip art and different elements in AI, which is a lot of fun. I've been playing with video more. I've been playing with, I've been teaching myself how to reteaching myself, I should say, how to edit video again. I've been just doing so many different things lately. And I haven't really talked about it too much. I haven't really shown too much, and that's horrible. I don't like this line, but I really want to get back into it. And someone suggested, why don't you video it, you know, and really show your process and talk about it. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's kind of like playing with being an AI or a video creator. I don't know if this is going to catch on or not. I don't know if this is going to become a regular thing for me. I'm going to wing it like I do a lot of things. I mean, yeah, you know, I don't, I'm getting myself confused. Hold on a minute now. That's a trunk. That's a trunk. That's a trunk. That's a trunk. This is a trunk. Okay. Let me, getting myself confused as which is the negative space and which are the tree trunks. I probably need to add some texture lines in here, so that you don't get confused when you're coloring it. And let's leave that as a texture line. Maybe that's what I meant. See, sometimes happy accents happen. I like that better. But anyway, yeah, I am trying to get back into things. I am trying to, I guess you could say I'm spreading my wings a little bit, playing with some more creative things, just having fun. Yeah, a couple lines over here. Trying to figure out how to video this took me a whole 2 days. Because even though I'm a little bit of a tech geek, I'm not that much of a tech geek, so it took me a little bit. And then I tried to record this yesterday, and my dog Zoe decided she was going to bark. The phone kept ringing, so it's like, okay, let's not do this today. But anyway, so it's kind of my story right now, and I'd love to share things and to hear other people's stories and other people's creative journeys. I started a blog for my creative journey, but I haven't really published to it as much as I want to. I need to get back to doing that. There's just so many things I want to do, and there's not enough hours in the day. But I'm trying, you know. It's a matter of figuring out what's most important, you know. Let me see how this looks. Okay, I kind of like that. I like having the negative space around her face too. It makes her face stand out a little bit more. So, yeah, I like that. Anyway, next time I do this, I'm going to try to remember that Krita has layers. Because this would have been a lot easier if I'd put my sketch in a background layer, then I wouldn't have to keep erasing my sketch lines. But, you know, like I said, this is my first time doing this, so it's a learning curve. It's a learning process. So, you know, all the YouTube creators I know just say you just have to start. You just have to do it, and you'll get better as you do it. So hopefully I'll look back on this video in a few years and go, oh my God, I can't believe I did it that way, because really the camera is kind of in my face. I'm leaning around and over the camera because that's the only way I could figure out how to record it, and you could actually see what I was doing on screen. So, yeah. So, let me see. Do I want to put something else in there? I think that will work. But anyway, yeah, I'm leaning over my webcam right now. So we're going to see how this works. I might come up with a better way. I might be able to come up with a way to share my screen, which I don't know how to do yet. So, yeah, give me some time. I'll figure this out. Let me erase some of this and do it in. You notice my sketch, it was just all scribbles anyway, really, just to indicate that I wanted to do layers of foliage in here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Just erase. And actually, I'm not erasing. I am covering with white. Just because I like working on black and white instead of black and transparent. If I erase, the back end of this pen is an eraser, so you can see if I erase it, you see the checkerboard that indicates it's a transparent layer. And I really don't need that. Or I don't know if you can see it there. Can you see it there? No, not really. Anyway, trust me, there's a gray and white checkerboard right in this area from erasing, so I'm gonna undo that because I don't want to erase it. And so I've been drawing with a combination of black and white. Let me just do some more scribbles. Why am I not? Okay, why are you being stupid? What did I do? I hit something I shouldn't have hit, or I did something I shouldn't have done. What did I do? Everything's on my pen. This is weird. Why am I not getting black? Hold on. Oh, somehow I accidentally put my opacity to 0. Don't even ask me how I did that. All right. Let's do some more leaves. So these are just very easy squiggles and loops. I just wanted to do the suggestion of trees. And I said, if somebody wants to, one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was I would add things to coloring books. Coloring books are kind of like my starting, my inspiration, I guess you could say, or the starting point, and then I was always adding things to them. In a forest like this, a scene like this with a forest, I might I would put an alien peeking in the background because I'm also a science fiction geek. So I did that a lot, and I forgot to cover over the gray. So next time I'm going to remember to put this in the background and create this as a background layer. By the time I thought of it, I had done so much work on it, I didn't want to redo it all. So I left it. But anyway, let's put in some more detailed leaves too in the front here. Maybe I'll do, I'm thinking, you know, art is definitely a process. It's always evolving. And originally this image, I was just going to do a forest, which when you see the coloring book, you'll see it started, it's actually kind of a storybook, because as I was working on different mythological creatures to include in it, I realized it kind of unfolded as a story. It wasn't intended that way. So this is going to be a coloring storybook. On the back side, on the front, they're single-sided pages with the art so that you can color it and you can take one out and frame it if you want to when you're done with it. But on the back, there's actually a line of story that relates to the image next to it. So like on this side, you're going to have a little bit of story. On this side, you're going to have the art. And I think it's going to be cool when it's finished. I wanted to do something a little bit different than the average coloring book. I wanted to do something that could be both for kids or adults and just have fun with it, you know? So that's what this kind of is. And I'm hoping it's going to come out well. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting tired of drawing leaves, I'll tell you that. I don't know why I put so many freaking leaves in this thing. I'm going to take some of this out, this gray out. But yeah. But anyway, this is kind of an experiment. It's to see how it comes out, how Amazon prints it, because this is going to be on Amazon, which they have a self-publishing program, which I'm trying out. And I have a couple other book ideas planned that if this turns out well, if I figure out the process and I get everything worked out, hopefully by this time next year, I'll have multiple books published on Amazon. See how this works. But I have some ideas for journals. I have some ideas for coloring books. I started originally working on an ancient Egyptian coloring book because those of you who know me know that one of my passions is ancient Egypt and Kemeticism, which is the faith of the ancient Egypt. One of my stores is EgyptianMarketplace.com because I love everything ancient Egyptian. So that was my first plan. But I wasn't totally liking the direction that was going. So I kind of like tabled that for now, and I'm going to come back. I'm not sure if I'm going to do gods and goddesses. I'm going to do ancient Egypt gods. I really haven't decided yet. That one just kind of, I like it, but it's not going the way I want it to go. So I'm going to rework it and replay with it and keep that one going. In the meantime, I drew a dragon one night in my sketch pad, and I said, "Oh, that would make a cool, coloring book page." So I started working on this one, and like I said, started out with a dragon, and then a couple fairy paintings, and I did a gnome house, and then I did tree houses, and I just kept doing different things. And this kind of developed over the course of, I guess, about a week. When something comes together that quickly for me, it usually is a sign to me that was what I was meant to do right now. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, I got all of the sketch lines out now, which was a pain in the butt. Let me come back in and do some more foliage, which is a bigger pain in the butt, but you know. All right, where am I? I think that one's that one. This is another tree in front of that one. So let me put, one of the things I love about drawing is you can really go anywhere you want to with it. You can take it. This is that tree's in front of that tree. It's totally where your imagination goes, It doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be, well, I don't know. I like realistic things. I'm not a fan of abstract art. Probably the squiggles of the leaves are the most abstract I normally get to. But sometimes I do like exploring different things and figuring out what might work and what might not, and that comes up to I think I'm getting my tree branches next up. Yeah, I think this one doesn't make any sense. I try to get them to make sense. I don't know. There's a few things that probably won't make sense in it, but we'll see what happens. All right. Let me do this big area first. Get this out of the way. And I'm in white. Let's get in black. There we go. I want to do some of these leaves as a little bit more detailed, like that. And put a couple big ones in the foreground. Just to break up all this monotonous. And I screwed up that line. Just break up all the monotonous little squiggles for it. There we go. Let's do another couple of big leaves. Now these are nothing fancy, they're just leaves. Whoops. I went too heavy on that one. There we go. But sometimes these little details is what really just makes a picture to me. Makes it fun too. That one I didn't finish right. There we go. Sometimes when I look at it, I'm going, wait a minute, what did I intend with that line? Like some of this, I'm not sure exactly what I did there. I might have to go back and redo it. We'll see in a minute. Let's just get some more these little branches in. I love using a thick thin pen too because I like the variations. I like, you know, lines in nature are never actually straight. I don't like that leaf though. They're not all the same thickness in nature, you know, so. And I'm noticing you're not seeing on the screen exactly, the camera's not picking up totally everything I'm drawing, it looks like. Some of the lines are not showing up that clear, but hopefully it will when it prints. I said I've never used Amazon KDP before either, so this is a total I'm doing this too precise. I'm trying to be too persnickety in this, I think. I just need to do it like I did when I did the sketch and just go for it. Just go add the little lines, the suggestion of leaves, not try to be persnickety on it. A little bit of branch back there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see here. I said I'm still getting used to the process, so bear with me. Oop. I just dropped, hold on a minute, I just dropped the retaining ring off my pen somehow. How did I manage to do that? I have the foggiest notion. Okay, hold on a minute. Oh. Get it back up. There it goes. Come on. There we go. I don't know how the heck that just came off of there. Very weird. My nib's not loose. Okay, that's weird. Did I lose a part off my pen? I'm not sure now. I'm gonna have to look into that afterwards, but it looks like the cone part of my pen came off. Am I still working? I'm still working. So that's good, but I don't know where the heck it went. It must have fallen. I didn't notice. Very, very weird. All right. You can tell I'm doing this live, right? I don't know how the heck that happened. But anyway, let me just do some more little leaves up around here and little leaves up around here. Like I said, nothing, whoops, those two are a little too thick. Nothing too precious or fancy. A little bit of squiggles back there. Where am I doing over here? A little bit of squiggles back here. But at any rate, this is, yeah, part of my process, part of my drawing. And I've been talking and drawing for 40 minutes. I didn't realize I was recording that long. We'll see. I can get off on tangents when I get chatting, so let me know in the comments if you guys actually like seeing this or you think it was a little bit crazy, because, you know, it might be. If you would like to see more, if you'd maybe like to sketch with me or something, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. These trunks are totally out of line with those trunks now, so I need to clear this out and redo my trunks. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to try to go a little bit longer in this, probably. I mean, I'm just doing the same process. I don't know if this is boring, if it's interesting. I have no idea. So it's just something I thought about doing, and somebody suggested, you know, you should really do more videos, and you should really do document some stuff, and that one's off. Let's see if I can get this one. There we go. And I just went into her wings. Let me come in and, whoops, where'd her wing go? There it is. Oops. All right, come here. That right there, I need to get rid of that line there. Go, that I accidentally drew into her wing. Now, if I had planned this out better, I would have had a layer mask and everything else. And yeah, I'm more spontaneous. I see other people do videos of how-to videos, and they show all these layer masks and using Photoshop and this layer and that layer, and I tend to not do that. I don't know why. I tend to just draw on the canvas. I don't know if it comes from my being used to drawing on pen and paper instead of doing digital. Sometimes I have to stop and think about how to do something digitally. Oops, that's not right. Let's come down from this one. It's a little tricky sometimes because I would normally turn my sketch pad, and you can't really turn the tablet. Boop. Well, I probably could rotate the whole image, but I don't. There we go. Let's do something that's not so perfect. Sometimes trees are not even. They're not all the way even down, so you know, I get too carried away with trying to be perfect a lot of times. I need to remember it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to look right. You know, especially with coloring book. I'm hoping that if you get this coloring book, you will add your own details to it. You'll do your own thing. You'll add your own little bits and personality to it. Don't feel like you have to color in the lines all the time, you know? I think that's one of the things. I had a hard time when I was a kid thinking that I could go out of the lines because I was very, I don't know how to explain it. I'm creative and I've always been artistic, but a lot of times I felt like I had to follow the rules, if that makes any sense. And art is one of those things that really doesn't have rules. It doesn't have regulations. You know, it's doing what feels right or looks right to you. And even if other people don't necessarily share that vision, you know, and I don't know. I get hung up a lot of times on things looking perfect. Like I said, I redid her hands and her arms. I did different positions of them. I must have changed that around, oh God, I don't even know how many times, 50 times maybe. I just redid it and redid it and redid it and redid it, and I'm still not totally happy with it, but there comes a point when you have to stop messing with it. you know, and just say, okay, well, that's good enough. That's going to have to work because I don't want to do it again. And originally I had her hands, I think I had her holding a flower, and I just did not like the way it looked. So I nixed that idea and just have her holding a little piece of, like a ribbon was my idea. And, ooh, I forgot to put in the back of the ribbon back here. Okay, I need to redo that. So it looks like she's holding it and it's not coming out of her hands. Ignore my phone in the background. At least so far, knock on wood, it's not ringing like it did yesterday when I tried to do this. So, you know, sometimes simpler is better too. And I don't know if I'm going to put all the foliage back in here. I might just leave it. Out. Sometimes simpler is better. Let me come back in on her. I still don't like her hands, especially when I come and zoom in on them. I hate her hands. I'm probably going to redo them again. Yeah, I really don't like those hands. I like that line. I could not get the hands flowing the way I wanted to. I'm going to redo her hands again. Because I'm a dork that way. Let's see if I can get. I want this hand. How did I plan this? This hand is over top of that hand. So God, I hate hands. I've always had hands, feet, and teeth are my biggest things, my biggest issues to draw. And maybe I'll just leave it simple like that, like a suggestion of it, and not worry about it. It's a coloring book. It's not going to be this big on the final. I'm missing a finger though, aren't I? Would help if I had 4 fingers at least. So I've got that laid on that. Come back over here. That's going to be way out of proportion. Yeah, that's screwed up. All right, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at, right? Let's make her hand a little bit more normal size. Maybe that was my problem before. Maybe it was just too long. Might have been. 3. Just put her little pinky back there. I'm just going to, I think I'm going to lay this ribbon over top, which will help cover the other hand. So I don't have to do that other hand. I'm cheating a little bit because I just hate, I don't know what it is. I used to do portraits when I started drawing, not really when I started drawing, but when I got more into drawing when I was in probably junior high and high school. I did mostly portraits. I really focused on doing celebrity portraits because I had the magazine. I used to get magazines like Starlog, like so Sci-Fi Geek, and I would draw Mark Hamill or Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Han Solo and Captain Kirk, and that's how I learned how to draw portraits. And I still love doing that kind of thing. Portraits are probably my favorite thing to do. So faces don't intimidate me that much. Sometimes getting an angle of a face right is still a pain in the butt. Like getting her face right, I'm still not. I am happy with her face actually, but it took me way too long to do. And her hair took me forever. Maybe I think that's maybe why I'm balking at doing the foliage now, is because I did all that stupid hair, and it drove me batty. Her dress was fun to do though, but I'm still okay. Well, that hand is I'm not sure I like those hands yet. I probably will end up redrawing them again. If you see the final and the hands look totally different, you'll know I redid it again. Let me do some grass and foliage down here to end the trees, and a couple flowers. How did I do the flowers on this one? I did 5 petals. I did about 5 or 6 petals. I did the little star flowers, didn't I? I don't remember. I have to look back down and see. Oh, that's not how I did them. I did them the other way. I know how I did them. Let's just reduce that and bring it in bigger so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to pause you because my phone's ringing, of course. Okay, so post phone call. I am probably going to go ahead and wrap this up and then finish this off. Oops, finish this up off screen. And probably redraw her hands again. I don't think I like her arm either, so I might redo this whole area again. But anyway, matter of fact, I think I am. I don't like it. Yeah. At any rate, I rambled probably enough. Let me know if this is too much, if it's interesting, if you'd like me to draw more. Yeah. Let me know all that kind of stuff, and I might just do this again with my next project. So have a great day, and when I have the coloring book ready, I'll post a link to it in the video description. So take care.